Hello, my Gemini, and welcome to your day. Thank you so much again for joining me. I just love you, and I'm so glad you're here. So, as you can see, the moon has transitioned into Capricorn, and the moon is new. We are in a new moon phase for the next few days, and during that time we are to set our intention on something new we want to try to change in our lives over the next month, basically 28 days. So while the moon is in Capricorn, we have a tendency to feel a little more Capricorn-y. And Capricorns are all about regimen and structure and all those good things, but one thing people may or may not know about Capricorns is that when they're in their feelings, so to speak, they have a tendency to be a little bit stubborn. Capricorns like to live their lives in a way that they see it as very by the book and by the rules, and very regimented in times, depending on who you are. But some Capricorns really stick to that. And when you're in your emotional mindset, you may have a tendency to be a little bit stubborn when you feel like you're not getting what you deserve, you quote unquote deserve. And based off of this information, and also coming from a website that I discovered, not just the information, but this spread, I have decided to do a Capricorn, a new moon in Capricorn spread. And because Capricorns have a tendency to be a little bit more stubborn and emotional about their desires when the moon is in their sign, this spread is a little bit catered to that, and I really like that aspect. And I'll leave the link in the description down below if you want to do your own reading for a new moon in Capricorn, or if you just want to see more about what I'm talking about. It's labyrinthios, I can't say it right, .com, but I'll leave the link. And so jumping right into the reading, what we have is a 5-card spread where we go over the costs of your ambition, the costs of your failure, how can you compromise, why do you crave what you do, and where are you being too stubborn in your life. And so for you, my Gemini, what we have in the first position is your ambition, and that is the card you drew is the Prince or the Knight of Wands, depending on what deck you have. And all the Knight's cards or Prince cards, whatever they are they're the more chivalrous type card. They're the one that's going to jump out there and defend you in some aspect. And for Wands, it's with action. It is 100% action. They're going to almost look before they leap. They are 100% ready to go, full of enthusiasm, ready to adventure on, ready to hit the trail, because a wand card is all about passion. It's fire, it's ambition, it's desire. And the Knight card is about acting on it, going, go. So what is it going to cost to get where you're going? What is it going to take for you to get there? Well, there's going to be this need for fiery passion to get there. But at the same time, this is a card ruled by Leo. And so you have to be careful to fight your ambition to just be very centrally minded. You can't just say, I am going to go and do this, because it's not all about you. It may seem like it is, especially with the Capricorn moon, but you have to be very careful and very mindful of how you are portraying your actions and words around others, especially if you're someone who does have to share your life with others. You don't want to just bulldoze your way through. And so the cost of your ambition may be this accidental bulldozing, this pushing people away or just running them over to get to your goals. And that enthusiasm, while in some aspects it can be contagious, this particular card is definitely not talking about things are contagious. It's talking about being destructive. And what is the cost of your failure? If you don't learn from this mistake that I am trying to lay out here for you, if you don't slow down and make sure you aren't just running out there and running over others and doing what is all about you, and you're not being more mindful to other people, is Tower card is what you drew. You know, the cost of your failure, absolute chaos. I mean, most people know enough when you know anything about tarot to know what the Tower card represents. It is quite possibly the worst card in the deck. So Gemini, especially you, someone ruled by Mercury being in retrograde, here we are, the first new moon, well, not the first new moon, but is the new moon inside of Mercury's retrograde. You need to be careful how you are communicating with people, that you don't cause this inevitable chaotic downturn in your own life. You know, the Tower card, it is just this symbol of absolute chaos with anyone you come across. It doesn't specifically talk about any one element or any kind of zodiac. It is all inclusive. It doesn't take prisoners. This type of passion that you have right now towards your ambition and your goals, or I guess it should be the passion that is required but could be overdone, could hurt a lot of people if you don't make sure to include them, if you don't make sure to be mindful of how you're focusing. Maybe you do need to focus on yourself a little bit more than normal, but not to the point where you forget about all the aspects of what you're going through. So moving on, let's just go on for some clarification. How are you going to compromise then? How do you get what you want? Focus on yourself. Use this passion that is required while still maintaining a good relationship with everyone else and not bulldozing your way through. Well, you drew the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups is obviously an emotional cup. It's about relationships. It's about even potentially starting new relationships. Here we are moving into Valentine's Day. Maybe you're about to embark on a new relationship, or you're wanting to do these things. This card is about opening yourself up to others. Essentially, opening yourself up to failure and heartache. Opening yourself up to feel. Okay? That's really the crux of it. A need to open yourself up to feel emotions. Now, I will tell you, this card is upside down. And when something is upside down, it usually indicates a complete lack of understanding of what that area of your life has and what you are dealing with. So when I say that this card, this Ace of Cups, is telling you that it's a good time to open yourself up to feelings, but then I also tell you that it's upside down, I'm telling you that either one, you have no idea that you need this. Like, you might have just been like, what the hell is she talking about? Or you are so opposite this that you're literally turning the cup upside down and dumping your feelings out on the ground. You're like, I don't need these. I'm good. So whether it's through ignorance or intentional sabotage, you are not opening yourself up to feelings. You literally need to turn this card right side up so that it can collect the rain. Okay, it can hold this emotion for you. It can be there for you. Right now, if you keep pushing forward the way I have currently described, you're not even going to have a cup. Your cup is going to tumble away into the wind. And then when you finally get through the other side, it's going to take you a while to find it again, to be able to pick it up and go, yes, I'm ready for love. I'm ready for feelings. It wasn't all about me. So, another question. Card 4. Why do I crave what I crave? Well, you drew the Sun card. The Sun card is just pure ecstasy, really. It's just like exuberance and love and life and happiness and childhood dreams, and it's just anything that you can think of in a sense of just pure energy, joy, encouragement, and feeling and sharing and being, and all of these words. So you have this desire for just acceptance and love and life and new beginnings and being and having and goals, and I mean, you just have all of this. That's probably where all the passion comes from inside of your Knight of Wands. It's just this desire to have all this passion, but you're not being emotional enough. You're being too passion forward. You're being too aggressive and just driven to go without thinking, without learning. And then here, the final card to give you your final bit of clarity is the Death card. And this position is where you're being too stubborn, where you've been too stubborn. Where have you not compromised before? The Death card, it is also upside down, is a card that represents completion. It doesn't represent death at all. It represents ending of a phase, ending of an idea, ending of a relationship, ending of a journey, ending of something. It is completion in its purest form, like literally finding yourself on the other side of a closed door that you just walked through. Like, whoa, that's over. Even think about like a roller coaster, and when you get back to the little station and you're just like, did I really just ride that ride? It was so fast. It's over now. That's what the Death card is. When you find yourself 100% done with something, whether you're ready for it or not. The universe has decided you are done with it. So you ask me, how does that equal me being stubborn somewhere? Well, in the sense is, because the card is upside down, it's not accepting of completion. You have been so stubborn that you refuse to admit when something has come to an end. Something that maybe you want. Maybe you're trying to hold on to too many things. You have all this passion, but have you let anything go? Are you still trying to hold all the strings to past desires? Have you completed anything to its full fruition? You probably have. Have you acknowledged it? Have you acknowledged what you learned from it? Have you done anything to determine how you're going to enter into a next phase now that you've completed the one before and that you're ready? Everything we did from the last moon cycle, for example. What did you do? What did you gain? How did you get through it? What was your completion state there? You are now ready for the next phase with the next new moon, but are you accepting that the last phase is over? Gemini, I don't know what your goal was last month. I don't know what your goals were last year, but you do, or you need to. With an upside down Death card, maybe you're not even really aware of what your goals have been to know that they're over. I don't see things just lining up to talk about introspection and reflection. This has a lot to do with your emotion. I just keep coming back to this upside down Ace of Cups, and I think this has to do with emotions all the way. Some love, some hate, some fear, some kind of emotion, anger. There are many, many kinds of emotions, not just love and sadness. But there are some emotion that you're not dealing with, you're not completing in your life, but yet you're trying to move on to the next journey. And I encourage you that while you do choose something that is very poignant to you for your next moon cycle, look at these cards or think about them, since I don't really have them for you to look at, but I'll just re-clarify. The Knight of Wands, the Tower, the upside down Ace of Cups, the Sun, and the Death card. Think about this reading. Come back to it and watch it again if you need to. And reflect on where you've been enough to know where you're trying to go and the things that you're trying to gain for yourself. What have you closed a chapter on, closed a book on even, and are ready to move on in completion to the next phase? Make sure that you're taking all the emotions available, good or ill, into consideration, really growing from an entire experience and not just rushing through to the next thing. Don't hurry on to the next ride without really appreciating the last one. You don't get to go to Six Flags every day and ride all the rides. Make sure you're really soaking in those memories so that years down the road you can look back on the ride of your life and clearly remember all the highs and all the lows and all the lessons that you've learned along the way. All right, my Gemini, that's all I have for you today. I hope you pick something really wonderful and amazing as your new moon intention. Please comment below. Let me know what it is when you find out. If you have any questions or things you want to tell me, just comment. Like and subscribe if you want. Do what you feel like you need to do. But know that I do put the most positive intent into these readings for you. If this resonated with you at all, it was meant to. And I hope that you take these things to heart. All right, that's all I have for you now, and I'll see you later. Bye.